What's up, guys? Welcome to this installment of Mike's Vehicle Vlogs, and I want to thank you for joining me today. This video is a little overdue, but it is the annual review of one of the cars that I have, and that today is going to be the 2015 Ford Fusion S. This video is pretty much marking the 2-year ownership of me having this car. And in these videos, I will usually tell you what pros or cons may have occurred within the most recent year of ownership. And to be honest with you guys, I don't really have anything. I don't really have anything at all. This has been a fantastic car. But nonetheless, we're going to carry on with this video. It might be somewhat short. And yeah, so like I said, it's a little overdue because I was kind of getting carried away with the new project car, which is the 03 Grand Am GT. So I already have other videos made for this, for the Grand Am, and just kind of forgot to do the annual review of this. Now, at the moment, today, we're only about half a month into the, I guess, 3rd year. So July 31st of 2020 marked the exact 2-year ownership of this car, and today is what, August 20th. So yeah, it's really not that far ahead. So we'll get into the mileage and all that stuff here in a bit, but for the most part, you know, you guys, I don't know, I really don't know where to go with this because I don't really have anything bad to talk about. I know I've said this before, I really was never intending on getting rid of the previous car that I had, which was a 2011 Ford Escape XLT, but came across this one, and it just, I've always kind of had a thing for these Fusions. I've test driven a few of them for my Mike's Vehicle Spotlight series back in the past, and you know, a part of me has always wanted to have one of these Fusions. I just love how they drive. I love how they look. It's just an awesome car. And when this one came for sale, it was affordable. It's an S, which means it's basically bare minimum. And this particular S doesn't have one piece of optional equipment at all. Everything that is here is standard, and nothing extra has been paid for whoever bought this car in the first place. So no options. Everything here is just bare minimum, and it's perfect because there's nothing in this car that I have that, you know, I don't use. It's just, you know, it's the perfect car, to be quite honest with you. There were a few things in the beginning that I really wasn't too keen on at first when I was looking at this particular car. The one thing that I didn't like in the beginning was the lower rocker moldings, how they are just the plain black plastic instead of the color matching cladding, which you would find on the upper Fusion trims, beginning with the SE. The S models came with black rocker moldings, and today I honestly don't care. I kind of didn't care about that real quick after a while, and it doesn't bother me at all. I actually really like it. Same goes for the wheels. The wheels really grew on me over time. I wanted to get the 5-spoke wheels that you would usually find on a, you know, lower level SE trim, but at least this one here doesn't have wheel covers. And I think that was pretty much it. There really wasn't anything else to really gripe about in the beginning when it comes to the exterior. The car was in fantastic, immaculate condition when I bought it, and that was one of the reasons that I was so attracted to this car, is because there was like not one scratch on this car. The sides and stuff for the most part don't look too bad. The big thing was this hole right here in the bumper, and that happened within this last year. It actually happened almost a year ago this month, but somebody at the junkyard that I was at backed into the front bumper of the Fusion with a ball hitch on the back of their truck, and then they left. So I never got any help from the junkyard. Never found out exactly what had happened. All I know is there's a hole here. The reason why I haven't really gotten it replaced yet, and yes, it drives me crazy. I'm still very upset about that, but the reason why I haven't gotten fixed yet is because, honestly, I've got other priorities. It is going to get fixed at some point in time. I know somebody who's going to plastic weld it because the broken plastic piece is actually still attached. So he can weld it back together, repaint it, and make it look good again. But, there's other priorities that I got. It's not affecting the way the car is driving. It's not affecting the way it's running. It's just an ugly eyesore on the front of my beautiful car. So eventually it'll be fixed. But right now, it's not a concern. It's just there. It's just chilling. The car looks amazing when it's clean. Unfortunately, I wanted to wash this car today before we did this video. However, all of my car washing towels and rags and stuff haven't been washed yet themselves. So they're actually in the dryer as we speak. And when I get home after making this, I will be washing this car today. But it looks amazing when there's no brake dust on the wheels, and it's got a nice clean windshield and roof and hood. I mean, this car looks amazing when it's clean. The silver is just a wonderful color on this car, and I'm very happy with it. The only other thing that I've noticed within this second year, as far as the cosmetics of the car, is right here along the edge of the hood. I have 2 spots that are beginning to bubble. And I know that a lot of Ford cars have had issues in the past with there being rust that starts to bubble up under the paint along the hood and whatnot. As of right now, it is toward the passenger side. There's 2 spots here. There's no rust yet. It's pretty much doing exactly what my Escape was doing and what all of the second generation Escapes do. When it comes to the wheel wells, they start rusting out in the wheel wells really bad. That's kind of what this looks like. There's just no rust yet. And I haven't really looked under the hood yet to see what it looks like there, but I can tell you right now, we are getting signs of bubbling here with the paint. Am I going to fix that immediately? No. You can't really notice it until you get really close to it, and then you start to see it. I'm not going to fix it because I know it's just going to get worse along the side. So I might as well just let it get worse and then maybe just take care of it all at once. I mean, what's the point of having it done once and then it shows up somewhere else? We'll see how bad it gets. Right now, I'm not concerned about it. You barely notice it. But eventually, again, maybe along with the bumper, maybe we'll have it done together. I don't know. But that's pretty much it. As far as maintenance-wise, or any issues with this car, none. I've got none. We went the whole second year without any issues whatsoever, and that's awesome, really awesome. Within the first year, the car was in the shop for a couple of minor things like the power outlet on the center console. We had to get a new fuel door. We had to get the windshield wipers reprogrammed or aligned to go up and down in the proper manner. I feel like there was something else. I had an airbag light on briefly within the first year. It literally was on for a minute. And every now and then there's a really harsh shifting into reverse. Barely ever happens anymore though. It was really strange. Sometimes if I throw it in reverse, it slams into reverse, and it doesn't seem to happen like it was, maybe once every 4 months or something. I don't know. It's a very rare occurrence, but every now and then it still shows up. I still have reverse. I still have all forward gears. I'm not concerned about it. So it is what it is. I can't really complain about it yet. I did have it at work the one day, and during some downtime, I threw it up on the rack. I rotated the tires, which need to be replaced at this point in time. We are down to about 430 seconds of tread, and that is treading some very dangerous waters. These are still the original tires. I do believe they are Michelin's. Nope, I lied. They're Goodyear Assurance tires. These are what came on the Fusion from day one, whoever had the car before me. So these are still original. We rotated the tires. It really doesn't matter. They are, all 4 of them or at about 4:30 seconds. Starting to get a little bit of that tire noise, you know, as you're driving it. So tires will definitely be in the near future before winter, because these are getting pretty risky to drive on, and I don't like it. Doesn't really help that this car is going back and forth with me to school, which is about 45-minute drive, all highway. And yeah, so there's more, you know, mileage definitely been put on the whole car, really. This entire second year doesn't really help now that I sold the Aztec and I don't have my second car to just drive around locally. This is everything. I take this everywhere now, just like back in the day, only I have more of a commute to certain places. So when the Aztec was here with me, at least this car had a break, you know, for half a day. Now I have to drive it everywhere. So tires are definitely in the near future. The brakes are still really good. Brakes are still fantastic. The brakes were replaced when I bought the car. So they're still looking great after 2 years, and I do feel comfortable about that. So we just need to get some tires. That's really the only thing maintenance-wise that needs to be done. She just had an oil change. I do want to change the transmission fluid out. I said I wanted to do that at about 50,000 miles at one point. Never got around to it. We're at 55,000 now, and still has the original fluid in it. So some point soon, I'm really hoping that I'll get the chance to do a transmission fluid change on it, get some fresh. I do believe it's still Mercon LV, maybe. I'm not really sure what it is, but I can find out. But we need to get some fresh fluid in there, keep the transmission healthy. And that's it. Everything else has been pretty good. Original battery might start to get weak in the cold. I noticed last winter the battery was starting to get a little sluggish, so we may need a battery soon. So a tire, 4 tires, and a battery. I think that's really all that I have on the agenda right now. Yeah, I think so. Now, as far as driving the car, again, I don't really have any drivability concerns. This car, despite it having some, you know, pretty low tire tread, it's not really driving all that bad. The car still handles really well. Like I said, the only thing is I'm starting to notice more tire noise with these tires, you know, getting pretty weak. Brakes are still fantastic. You know, I told you that they looked good and they stop excellently when needed. This car does surprisingly well in the winter, which I know is going to be here in just a matter of months. But for it being just front wheel drive, it's actually a pretty good handling vehicle in the winter time. Obviously you can't go through, like, you know, 6 feet of snow or anything like that, but when the roads are kind of risky, you know, and as long as you're careful enough, this car is perfectly fine out in the snow. I still have a fun time driving this car. I still love being behind the wheel of this car. I'm not bored with the car, is, you know, basically what I'm saying. So this car, you know, I still have a fun time driving the car. You know, lately I've been using the select shift manumatic feature a little more, because I never really use it. You know, I was really happy to have a car with sport mode and select shift. But, you know, I've only used it a handful of times within the last 2 years. But as of recently, I've decided to start using it more. Everything inside the car still works. You know, nothing is broken. The air conditioning is still cold. The heat is excellent. I haven't had any issues with sync or anything infotainment-wise with this, you know, stereo system. My phone seems to pair perfectly fine every time. The voice command works well. Don't have any other warning lights on. No warning lights at all, really. So, I mean, like I said, there really hasn't been any issues at all within the last year of owning this car. There's just a couple of maintenance things here and there that need to be taken care of, and obviously the bumper and maybe whatever's going on the hood, but that's it. I can't really complain about anything else. Well, okay, I take that back. There is one little complaint that I do have, but it really isn't anything. It's not the car's fault. It's more so my fault. And I knew this was going to happen, but the seats. The seats in this car, these earth gray seats, they look awesome. I like the fabric. The fabric, when they're clean, have like a shine to them. But just as I predicted, my seat is getting darker and darker. It definitely got dark within the last year. And like I said, that's more so my fault, because, you know, I work in a shop now. Even though I don't wear my uniform in the car, you know, to go home or anything like that, I think just from being in school and whatnot, or just everyday, you know, use of the seat, you know, the seat's just getting dirty, and I knew that was going to happen. So this seat here definitely needs a cleaning compared to the other seats in the car. The other seats actually look pretty decent. The back seat is never used, so it looks like it's seriously never been used. But this seat definitely takes the cake as far as, you know, them needing to be cleaned. And I hope to figure out a safe way to clean this particular fabric, because this fabric will leave watermarks if, you know, not cleaned or dried properly. So I don't know if I can actually use a scrub brush, you know, to clean these, and then just try to vacuum all of the dirt and stuff, or the water and stuff off of it. I don't know. So I want to figure out a safe way to clean this fabric, and then that way I can attack this seat, and then it'll look better than it does now. 2.5 liter 4-cylinder is still running strong. Again, no issues. It's still doing really well on gas. In fact, we're going to get to our specs for this year here in just a little bit. But it seriously, you know, this engine, I've had it in the Escape and I had no problems with it. So far in this car, no problems with it. It's still a pretty young engine, well broken into obviously, but you know, as long as, you know, we just continue to keep the oil changed and try to tackle any other you know, preventative maintenance thing that might come up with this engine, which there really shouldn't be anything other than spark plugs, coils, and all that stuff, but we shouldn't have to worry about that for at least a few more years, really. Like I said, it's still pretty young. But, you know, oil changes are definitely the biggest thing. I never let this car get over 5,000. Somewhere within the 5,000 mile range, this car is getting an oil change. As a matter of fact, the day that I did the oil change on this one, it was at 55,006 on the odometer. So that was timed out perfectly. But yeah, usually 5,000 is the limit. I don't want to let it go any further than that. And I think it'll keep this car happy as long as that engine oil is always cleaned or changed on time. Okay, so as far as our statistics, our yearly statistics, and I know it's a little over because we, you know, we're a little ahead of, we're technically into year 3 now. So, but as of right now, from day 1 of ownership, I've driven this car 20,849.5 miles currently. 20,000 miles already. That's amazing. Getting ready to go on 21,000. So that's what we've put on this car. Like I said, this whole year, because of me going to school and whatnot, definitely ranked up the mileage more than my usual, you know, mileage on the car. I do believe, if I'm not mistaken, I don't remember offhand, but I feel like the first year I put around 9,000 miles on it, or something like that. So you got to figure, if it was at 9,000 on the 1-year anniversary last year, and we're at, you know, a total of 20,000, that's what, 11,000, almost 11,000 miles. Yeah, so yeah, definitely more driving within the second year. So that being said, since day 1, I've been driving the car for 789 hours, 45 minutes and 16, 17, 18, 19 seconds. 789 hours. We have used 790 gallons of fuel, almost 791 to be exact, and we are averaging at 26.3 miles per gallon since day one. So the average, I do believe, has gone up, and I want to say that's contributing to the fact that I've been doing more highway driving because of my school commute this year. So those are pretty much all of the statistics that, you know, I like to give you guys as far as how, you know, the mileage, total mileage that we've put on it since day one and whatnot. I think a lot of people like that. I know it keeps me interested because I just like to keep track of all that stuff. And I love the fact that this Driver Information Center actually keeps track of your you know, not only is it has 2 trip computers, but each trip computer has a timer and shows you how much gas you've used since last reset. So yeah, that's pretty much it, I think. If I were to get rid of the car, you know, in the future, you know, they quit making Fusions, unfortunately. So the last Fusion that I could get is a 2020, and that would be, you know, if I did it years from now, you know, it would be definitely used, probably, you know, 3 or 4 years old or whatnot, I don't know. But I don't plan on getting rid of this car. I'd really like to have this car paid off and keep it sometime afterwards. You know, it really is a fantastic car. But if I decide to get rid of it, I would go with the Edge, just because the Edge has a lot of the same qualities that the Fusion has. And I absolutely love this Fusion. So I'm extremely happy with this car, and I'm just extremely happy with, you know, my ownership with driving Ford cars over the last few years anyway. They've been great cars, and I'm definitely glad that, you know, I've made that switch. I'm not knocking anything else, don't get me wrong. I'm just putting it out there that, you know, I've really enjoyed having the Fords. So far, like I said, with all 3 of the Fords that I've had and currently have, I really have nothing to complain about. So camera's gonna fall, I think. Basically, I think we're done with this video, so sorry if to disappoint you if you were hoping that something bad happened. Nothing bad happened. Maybe next year, I don't know. But that's it. So I'm gonna leave you guys. Let's go back to the park, wrap this up, and let's call it a vlog. Alright guys, so I think that's going to do it for today's vlog on the review of the 2015 Ford Fusion S. And I do want to thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, comment, and subscribe. Also check out teespring.com/stores/Mike's Vehicle Spotlight for all of your MVS and vlog merchandise. And that's really all that I have for today. So I want to thank you so much again for watching. Hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Until then, take care.